Now, I don't say this often.
I don't say this often.
Now, I don't say this often. He's going to be a wild card in the league. Welcome back to the Wildcards Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Coleman Madlin. I'm here today, unfortunately joined with my two co-hosts,
Joshua Sykes,
Brian Harkey.
Sound energetic as always. And you know what? We always talk. We always yap. Let's just get right into the news. You guys good with that?
Yapping. Nah, I don't be yapping. You be yapping, bro.
You're right.
You're a yapper.
You're good if we get into the news, Brandon?
Yeah, bro. Let's hop right into it.
Let's hop in. All right, let's start it off. Josh, you want to talk about the crazy week in college basketball?
Absolutely record-setting week in college basketball. Not in the best way, though, for the top 10 teams. 7 out of the top 10 all lost last week to unranked opponents, I might add. Most of them, anyway. I don't know if all of them. And then Houston actually lost twice to unranked opponents. Yet, somehow, they're still in the top 5. I don't know what the AP poll is thinking, but I don't agree. I don't.
Josh, can you explain... I know you don't like Tennessee, okay? I know you're a Kentucky fan, but if you had to give an explanation, if your job was to back up the AP poll and the voters, why would you say Tennessee still has a case to be so high as they are?
Well,
as high as they are.
If I'm working for the AP poll and if I got to publicly speak for them and tell people why their mistakes are correct, something went wrong in my life. Anyway.
Gotcha.
Tennessee, they had some quote unquote quality losses.
Q1.
Well, I think most of them were Q1. Yeah. Let's see right here. They lost to number 2 Purdue earlier on in the year, and then they lost to number 1 Kansas, and then they actually lost 3 in a row. They lost Purdue, Kansas, and then at North Carolina, which they had 100 balls stuck on their head at the North Carolina loss. And then they have lost to Mississippi State, which is not a good loss. I don't know how they're still in the top 10 with 4 losses. I mean, that's just ridiculous to me. But, the way they say it is a quality loss. And, I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to hear your perspective because we all know your thoughts on the University of Tennessee.
Yeah,
moving on, or unless, Brandon, do you have anything to say about that? I mean, a lot of teams lost. I think the last time that I'm just talking over Brendan, sorry. The last time that this happened, I remember about a year ago, there was a crazy week where like all 4 or 5 of the top 5 teams lost. I remember it was about a year ago. Josh, you remember what I'm talking about? There was a lot of...
Yeah, I know. I remember, but I don't think it's ever been this bad. Like, there's a lot of parity in the league right now.
Yep. All right. Brandon, unless you don't have anything to say, unless you have something to say, we can move on to the next topic.
Nah, man, I don't have anything to say. I mean, Houston losing twice to unranked opponents is bad, but I mean, like any team, I think it's better to get it out now than to do it in March. Like I saw Rob Dillingham when they asked him about the Texas A&M loss. He said, there's still a lot of game to play, and he said that it's better to learn now than when it really matters. Not that these games matter, but
that's not technically what he said. I mean, if you were a real journalist, like you would quote him directly.
I'm not going to say his whole thing, bro.
He was talking about his last second shot that it rimmed out, but we still tied it to go to overtime. He was saying,
I get it, bro. I saw the video.
It's okay. That shot will go in March. I just want to correct you on that because I don't want you to look stupid.
Lately, we've been having some Brandon Josh beef. You guys need to set up like a MMA or some fight. Like you guys need to go at it.
UFC 4.
What do you say?
UFC 4, bro.
Yeah, come on.
You don't want that smoke.
All right. Okay, let's move on. Next, we got the University of Arizona head coach Jed Fish agrees to take over for Kalen DeBoer, who left Washington for Alabama for the college football head coach. Of course, we all know Nick Saban retired. Kalen DeBoer took over at that position, leaving the University of Washington. And both programs are struggling with transfers right now. People are transferring out.
Before we move on from that, what do you guys think of the hire? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I think it's a great hire.
You think so?
I think DeBoer is outstanding. He moved his way up from I think it was to Sioux Falls. It might have been. It was a school in South Dakota. But yeah, they've been. He's been moving up the ranks. I know it's been quite a big jump. I mean, going from Sioux Falls he also coached at Fresno State and the University of Sioux Falls. Whenever there's a hire, especially at the very top, which let's be honest, Alabama is the very top. Whenever there's a hire at a level like that, there's going to be a chain reaction of hires that trickle down to the lowest depths of of college football, and we're seeing that now. So we have Kalen DeBoer after Nick Saban is taking over for him, and then the Washington job needed to be filled. So again, Jed Fish, Arizona head coach, leaves Arizona, who was projected to have a great year. I think they were projected to be. I think ESPN released it early top 25. I think they were in the top 15, if I'm not mistaken, 12 around there somewhere. But yeah, I projected to have a great year. So he leaves them. Yikes on, I think that's a yikes. But I mean, you can do what you got to do. He left, and now he's at Washington. And now San Jose State coach Brennan leaves to be the next Arizona head coach, and now San Jose's looking for a next head coach. And it will just keep trickling down until we reach the University of Kentucky. And I think that's I'm just kidding. But it'll just keep trickling down. And it's always rough because if you're a San Jose State fan, you're just chilling out. You think you guys had you guys are.
You mean all 5 of them?
Sure, all 5 San Jose State
bar?
fans at the local bar, they love watching their team, and they're like, "Oh wow, look at that! Nick Saban retired, isn't that great?" And then the next day, their head coach leaves, directly because of that, or I guess you could say indirectly.
Yeah,
but it was a response.
Just when you think you can win the national title because Nick Saban leaves, your coach leaves you for a better promised land.
I mean, it's just how it is. I mean, there's transfer portal for players, and then there's the transfer portal for coaches. And
called the coaching carousel.
There was, and there was, that's a good term. I like that term. There was a big discussion over who was going to be the Alabama head coach. So going back to what you said, Josh, about do you think it was a good hire? I personally think it was a good hire. I think Kalen DeBoer is a great, especially offensive-minded coach. Nick Saban was a lot of the time praised for his defensive-minded schemes. And I think it'll be a nice switch up, and it might take a few, years, maybe not, to get rolling. I mean, it's Alabama. But I think he'll do well in the future.
What does Brandon think? Brandon's real quiet for real, unless you know him.
No, I honestly, like, we made our picks. None of us got it right. I think it's a great hire. I didn't know of his great coaching career until I saw like the ESPN thing, like, of his stats. Don't quote me word for word, Josh, but I'm pretty sure it's like 100 and something to 12 losses, like wins to loss ratio.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know he had that dog in him. And I mean,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, with, Alabama being Alabama, like, people will want to play at Alabama, although they are having, like, multiple good 5-star, 4-star people entering the transfer portal. I think
Proctor left.
Caleb Downs
left. He, number one available. But yeah.
You know where he's going, right?
Georgia.
Kentucky.
I'm afraid he's going to Georgia, Ohio State. You can lock it.
Yeah, no, he's probably going to go to Georgia. He's from Georgia.
Yeah, it's over. I saw a video of him with Kirby Smart after I think it was the SEC championship, and Kirby Smart after the game, he directly went over to him, patted him on the back, and they said, I saw that clip. I'm like, yeah, it's over, guys.
I mean,
come on.
You gotta say though, like, these coaches, they gain a real relationship with some of these recruits, and they don't get them. So it's like, is it that, or is it like he's trying to recruit him because he knew Saban was about to go?
Do you think he knew? Do you think Kirby Smart knew?
I don't think he did.
I mean, think he did either.
It was inevitable, though. In the next 5 years, he's gone anyway. So you might as well start the work now,
Yeah, he knew. I mean, I'm sure he knew it was coming, but, I doubt he's worried about that. He's probably more worried about his team. And, he pretty much has the SEC. It's pretty open right now for Georgia.
He doesn't even have the SEC East, let's be honest.
Who else is in the SEC?
Kentucky's in the SEC East. Let's be
all right. Now we're just a joke of a podcast. Damn, that was an interesting laugh. That was that laugh, dude. You sound like a witch.
No, but I kind of like the hire, but also I don't, because like you said, he's more offensive minded, and I think it takes more of a defensive minded coach to be successful, especially in like the SEC. I know I say a lot about the SEC just because we live in the South and enjoy watching them, but I think defense wins you the SEC. While, I mean, let's look back at Nick Saban's years. He won games with A.J. McCarron and not great quarterback play. He ran the ball down people's throats and scored field goals. That's pretty much what he did. I mean, I remember watching the Alabama-Auburn Iron Bowl one year. It was 6-9 was the final score. I mean, and they won the national championship that year, I'm pretty sure. My point is, it's just I think you have to have stellar defense, which I get Alabama's going to have that because they're Alabama and they're going to get the recruits. But how well can Washington recruit, really? Because, I mean, not Washington, I'm sorry. How good can DeBoer recruit? let's look at his Washington years. He wasn't recruiting that well. Now, was it because it's Washington, or is it because he's not a great recruiter? Well, time will tell, I'm sure.
Yep.
But I mean, he was one of the best in the Pac-12, so I don't know how recruits aren't going to be like, especially on the West Coast, aren't going to be like, I want to play for one of the better programs in the Pac-12. Now, time will tell about that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know if his coaching style, while yes, it'd be fun to watch for a few years, will it win him games in the SEC when it comes down to it? I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so? Okay. All right. Well, probably enough about Kalen DeBoer and the coaching carousel. I guess we should move on. Pascal Siakam was traded this morning. Breaking news. This is Wednesday, the January 17th. He was traded to the Pacers for a bag of chips, a rotten sandwich, and a can of tuna. And by that, I mean Bruce Brown Jr., Jordan Nwora, Kira Lewis Jr. But then you have the diamond in the rough. You have 3 first-round picks. And these first-round picks vary from pretty bad to pretty good. So those first-round picks, let's break them down. So the Raptors receive 3 first-round picks, and then the players I mentioned. Bruce Brown Jr., Bruce Brown, that's a pretty good pick or pickup. He's on the Nuggets championship team last year, elected not to resign. But yeah, so the picks are as follows. The 2024 first-round pick is the lesser of the picks from the Jazz, Clippers, Rockets, and Thunder. Likely, the projection is probably going to be the Rockets. Those are all teams that are like around 500, so it's not like the best pick. But maybe the Raptors are betting on one of those teams falling out of the competition later in the season. The next pick, the next pick is another 2024 first round, and that's directly from the Pacers, who are looking pretty good in the East. That's probably going to be a bottom 12, bottom 10 pick. And then the last pick is a 2026 first round pick, also via the Pacers, but this one's protected 1 through 4. So we have to keep that in mind. The Pelicans were also involved in the trade. They got cash considerations, and along with Pascal Siakam, the Pacers also got a 2024 second round pick, another bag of chips, but that was from the Pelicans. So that's how the Pelicans were involved. Do you guys have any thoughts about this? Do you guys think that this is a good trade? I mean, 3 first round picks is a lot of players, a lot of value, and also they also get some pretty good role players and young players, and the role player being Bruce Brown Jr. and then the younger players I mentioned. What do you guys think?
I think this was a great trade for the Raptors. I think with their young 3 of Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, and RJ Barrett, they're only gonna, I guess, mesh together better now that Pascal Siakam's not going to be taking the ball. It's going to create that chemistry. And for the Pacers, I think this is good. I believe they are the 5th seed in the East. Maybe I think they're the 6th seed in the East right now. And Tyrese Halliburton is hurt. He comes back, I believe, in a week or 2. And I definitely think this strengthens their case to be a top dog in the East, but the East is very stacked with the Celtics, Bucks, and Sixers. So I don't know. I'd like this trade for both teams, but if I had to pick one team to win the trade, I'd have to go with the Raptors because 3 first-round picks for one player is kind of crazy.
What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Raptors definitely won the trade for me. I don't even think it's that close either, just because, I guess they kind of both won in a sense, but at the same time, it's like, I don't think Pascal's a top player like he used to be. I think he reminds me of a lot of Kawhi, like defensive lockdown.
I disagree.
Can't stay healthy and he's not as good as Kawhi. But his comp would be Kawhi.
I completely disagree.
How's that?
I think they're doubling down on offense here. I think the Pacers are completely doubling down on offense. I mean, name a good locked. I mean, they have no defense. The Pacers. I think they're doubling down on offense.
Bruce Brown is a good defender.
He's a good defender, sure, but I mean, he's going
Pascal's
to
not the
he's going to the Raptors.
Player.
Bruce Brown isn't going to the Pacers.
I know that, but I'm saying they had Bruce Brown.
Sure, they had him. I just don't think. I
think Pascal's a better defender, though. I think to defend.
Sure, I think he has that potential, but I think they mostly did it for offense.
I don't think he's that great of an offensive threat. If that's why they did it, they definitely lost the trade.
That's why I think they did it. That's what I've been. That's what I see. I was looking at interviews of their. It was either their GM or their coach or someone, and I think they're going for this offensive minded machine, and I don't know. I just don't see it. So I think
I definitely don't like it then.
Yeah. Defense wins championships at all levels in all sports.
Yeah, and I think especially with Quickly, and then I don't know if RJ's been playing good since he got traded there.
Very
he
good.
Went back home to Canada.
Yeah.
And then of course Scotty Barnes, FSU, and then
Man, is he special?
I mean, yeah, what a. And then they'll have those 3 picks, which one of them can be really good, and you get 2 role players out of the other 2. I think it's a great. And then Pascal's getting older. I mean, he's just a waste of contract, I feel like, on the Raptors. So.
How old is he again? He's like almost 30, right?
I think he is 30. Is he
I
31?
believe he's 33.
33.
29.
He's 29.
I said
So he's like halfway through his career. Probably a little bit.
Probably more than that. He don't
Yeah.
play. I haven't watched him play this year, but I remember watching him last year. He just looks slow. But it may just because he's on the freaking Raptors, so I don't know.
What I was trying to
see.
say about the pay, I think they're going for the playmaking. I mean, the beginning of the season, they were scoring really well, just the team. I mean, there's varying things about. I mean, some people think that but this year, I think his offense is what what Indiana's looking for. Which is just unfortunate. I don't know. I don't think that's the right direction to go for, especially in today's NBA when pretty much anyone that you get besides Ozar Thompson can score. So that's what I have to say about that.
I will say though, I just watched Calipari get his 400th win at Kentucky. So I'll put that out there.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We do not care.
Okay.
All right, so we'll move on from the Siakam trade, and we'll start talking about the NFL. So there's, I believe, still 7 teams with head coaching positions opened. But the Falcons have interviewed Jim Harbaugh and Bill Belichick for their coaching position. Jim Harbaugh has also been interviewed by the Chargers and the Raiders, I believe. And I think Antonio Pierce, the Raiders' interim head coach, was interviewed by the Titans. So that could be Josh's guy. But to me,
I'm not a Titans fan.
My fault.
He's a Will Levis fan.
I said this before with like the 7 teams available. I definitely think the Falcons are one of the top 2 teams that I would want to go to if I was a head coach.
Sure.
And because they just have so many great young pieces, and I really believe Arthur Smith was holding back their players as much as like. It doesn't even pay me to say it. He's just like, I don't know how you hold back like your star players like that. Jim Harbaugh coming.
Dude, he was trying to win parlays. We don't know what his record was on parlays.
Yeah, but he was against the spread when he was betting against his own team.
With Calvin Ridley.
Under on the carries with Bijan and under on the receiving yards for Kyle Pitts every game.
I mean, dude, that'd be so easy to make money if you were a coach. And I wouldn't even put it past Arthur Smith.
Yeah,
I don't even know him, but he just looks like the type of guy to do that. Is that mean?
Honestly, what you do is you put your whole contract on one, and then you're gonna get it, and then you just keep stacking them. So next week you do the same thing.
That's so messed up. I'm
You'd
sure
be set
people.
for life.
Yeah, you would be.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Falcons,
Sidetrack.
They interviewed Jim Harbaugh. Just came off an undefeated season, winning the national championship with Michigan. Like most of Michigan's players, Harbaugh is leaving. So they say it's not confirmed, because obviously he hasn't decided on a team yet. But I think, his brother said, Jim Harbaugh is he's a team builder. So, I mean, his first couple years at the 49ers, I think they went 11 and I don't know, I'm not good at math. 11 wins, and then they had 10 wins. Because, obviously they changed how many games they play on the schedules back then. So
I thought you were talking about overall record.
No, I just don't know.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Bill Belichick, the GOAT, 6 Super Bowls. Some say he's not the same without Brady. It does prove it, but I still think he's a pretty good coach. So I think the Falcons are interviewing 2 great coaches right now. But what about you, Josh? What do you think about these interviews?
I would hate to see Bill go to Atlanta just because, I don't know. I don't think it just fits. I don't think it fits him. But at the same time, it's we'll get into it later. I thought the Cowboys job would come available, and I thought that would be a perfect fit. Him and Jerry Jones.
That would be so perfect.
Most hated owner with the most hated coach, and
yeah,
they already have a great defense. Bill Belichick known for his defense. Could you imagine Bill Belichick defense with Michael?
Did you say great defense? I didn't know great defense gave up 48 points in the wild card.
All right, hold on, chill out. They do not have Trayvon Diggs. They haven't named all year. I get that, but I'm saying like they have some great pieces like Micah Parsons. Could you imagine what Bill Belichick could do with Micah Parsons? Absolutely astonishing. I would have to get rid of sleepyhead Dak Prescott. He was the night before the game. He had his sleep number set on a wrong setting, so like I think it was too soft. So he woke up and he was still kind of asleep. And he just threw the pick without even realizing it, and kind of woke him up in the second half. But
I know.
too late.
I know. Mid at halftime, he went in there. He's like, "Man, I wish I could just go home already and sleep in my nice, brand new sleep number bed, 2024, new options."
Yeah, they're gonna come out. They're coming out with a new commercial, and they're gonna show him like sleeping through half of the game because he was slept so well. That's the next iteration of commercials for him.
Have such a great night's sleep that you sleep through the next day too. That's what
exactly.
He did.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that. That was Josh. You should consider stand up. That was funny. That was a funny what's it called? But I do agree with you. I think if Mike McCarthy were to have left, which we'll talk about next, that he may or may not be returning. Stay tuned. But I think that would have been a good fit. Most hated, probably everywhere. I mean, that would go from America's team to America's team that no one likes, which they already are. But
I kind of would root for him just because I want to see him like be the villain.
What?
Yeah, but like
you can't be preying on their downfall, bro.
But yeah, let's just go right into it then. Mike McCarthy, we can just add it into the conversation. Maybe continue the Falcons and Bill Belichick, Jim Harbaugh stuff as well. But Mike McCarthy, according to Adam Schefter, has told everyone that he will be returning, or I guess it wasn't really his decision. Let's be real. That he's going to be returning for the 2024 season to everyone's joy except for Cowboys fans.
I mean, the Cowboys are not making a head coaching change, and Mike McCarthy is set to return for the 2024 season.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, I think he's a bad coach. No, I don't think he's a bad coach. I don't
think one game defines you. I think
but their first game.
Going off one game though. I'm going off his time in Green Bay as well.
A Super Bowl champion.
He won one because he had the second greatest quarterback of all time.
Was off the Zooty in the NFC Championship game.
Dude, that's when he's his best, dude. He is off the Zooty all the time. That's why he tore his Achilles and didn't even feel it, bro. He got up. And
that is true. He has gotten over that pretty fast, even though there was reports that maybe said he was going faster than he really was.
People just fake it, bro, because they got it in their contract, guaranteed money.
All right. Let's talk.
I would do it.
Let's talk about the Falcons again. I agree with what you said, Brandon, like wholeheartedly. I think that the Falcons is the best open head coaching position. They have a bunch of young players. I'm pretty sure their draft stock isn't looking too bad, and also I don't think their money's looking too bad. I think they're pretty good. I wouldn't say this like, I mean, I wasn't alive 40 years ago or 30 years ago, but I think Atlanta is now a very good market draft, or sorry, free agency location, especially considering how many high school prospects are coming out of Georgia and how many outstanding players are from Georgia. I mean, let's be in 15 years, probably like 5 years. In 5 years, like half the defense in the nation, or half the players in the NFL are going to be from the University of Georgia. And of course, I'm just joking, but that's what it seems like with the talent they've been putting into the league. But yeah, so I think that's a good trade location. It's not like it's what's a bad trade location in the NFL. There really isn't one.
I feel like
Minnesota,
I think the Commanders.
Minnesota Commanders. I'd say Carolina. Carolina's pretty bad.
Yeah, and then
if we're talking like off like team base, Carolina's bad, but like to like live, I don't think Carolina's that bad. But like
I think it is.
Carolina would be the greatest.
I would like to live there, but I'm saying. But do you think those players? Do you think the players want to live there? They want to live somewhere where there's like a lot going on. But what do I know? I'm not a player. Detroit's like not even like that bad. Detroit's improved a lot.
Poverty, dude.
Yeah, but I don't. There's still like things to do, so I don't think it's as bad as
like what? Say. Not an Oblot?
That's just not in Detroit. But
I know it's in. Where's that? Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah. Okay.
Let's move on to the NFL divisional rounds if we can. So as y'all know, the Packers upset the Cowboys like we talked about, but the Browns the Texans whooped the Browns by a lot.
Yep.
Chiefs did their job against the Dolphins. Lions had a scary one against the Rams. Bills obviously beat the Steelers. I mean, easiest game to choose right there. And the Bucks killed the Eagles season. Eagles have multiple issues.
Wow,
Jason
yeah.
Kelsey's retiring.
Lane Johnson's probably gone.
Actually,
Eagles fans
he
hate
walked
Nick
that.
Sirianni.
He walked that back. Kelsey said he shouldn't have made that decision when he was so emotional, and he said he'd give it more proper time. So he may walk it back and play another year.
He might, but you're not going to get the same Jason Kelsey most likely.
The Kelsey brothers right now, they just be dragging stuff out for real.
They do be. They're
trying to get some
their
publicity.
family's pretty in the news a lot, which is like good for them.
Like, it's cool that they have a podcast and all. Like, it's not as good as this podcast, but like, I guess they're
Correct.
famous. But
Yeah.
And then one's dating some type of singer, and then Jason
Yeah.
Kelsey. I don't even know why Jason Kelsey's famous. Like, I get it. I like him better than Travis, but like, why that dude famous for real?
My
He's a
mom
center
loves
in
him.
the NFL.
My mom loves Jason
I
Kelsey.
think you're right. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but your mom also loves you, so that doesn't say much.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. But out of those, I just want to ask you guys a little trivia or a little prediction. I don't know what you'd call it.
Don't ask me trivia.
Out of the 4 divisional games that are happening this next week on Saturday and Sunday, what game do you think has the highest or the highest price of the lowest ticket available? The Texans, Ravens, Packers at Niners, Bucks at Lions, or Chiefs at Bills. Josh, one team, just give it, or one game, give it to me. No analysis, just guess.
I'm gonna go with the Bills because it's cold.
Wrong. Okay, Brandon, go.
So I'm guessing which ticket is the most expensive?
Yep, the cheapest ticket.
Oh, wait. Oh,
Which-
I know,
No, guess what ticket is the most, like, what cheapest ticket is the most expensive? So I'm saying, like, what's the most expensive game to go to? Like, the
it's
cheapest
the
ticket
Lions,
is
bro.
Oh,
It is.
I was thinking the other way around. I thought you were talking about like the cheapest ticket, so like the cheapest to get in.
I kind of
Oh, I saw that
I worded that
stat.
poorly, but yeah.
That is a crazy. It's
Josh.
like $700.
Well, right now on ESPN, I was just looking at the divisional round score, like the preview. So the Texans, Ravens, $95. Packers, Niners, 183, pretty decent. Chiefs, Bills is 145, and then Bucks at Lions, tickets as low as $496.
Did you guys see where the reporter asked Todd Bowles if they were ready for
Oh
the
yeah,
weather, and they play in a dome? Like, and
yeah.
he looked at her. He looked at her like she was like so dumb. It was hilarious.
Well, he did respond politely. I mean, and maybe you could maybe she was talking about just like being there, but I don't really see how that could affect the play, especially being in a dome. I don't know.
She did answer his question. She was like, well, we do get off the bus. It will probably be out there for maybe 20 seconds. So, I think the players are just going to have to tough it out.
For those 20 seconds. No, but yeah. Overall, pretty poor question, but if those things happen, it'll probably be added to a compilation. But yeah, so I know we'll talk about it in a second. Or I mean, you guys, do you just want to get into our picks of the week now, or do you guys want to recap the wild card games?
Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
So I want you, both of y'all, to give me one rookie on either of these games that stood out. No repeats. So Josh, you can go.
I gotta go first. Oh my god.
It was obviously C.J. Stroud. That wasn't
Dang
even
it.
like. Are we being
I
for
knew
real?
that's who Coleman. I knew that's who Josh was gonna pick, bro. He's got a weak mind. I know you can find me a good one.
Okay.
But go ahead, Josh. CJ Stroud is a great pick. I believe he's front runner
best
for
weekend.
offensive rookie of the year. So just tell us, what did he do that impressed you, Josh?
I mean,
his
he did-
first playoff game.
First of all, he was very poised, especially against the Browns' defensive rush with Myles Garrett. Do you think you could throw a ball with Myles Garrett running at you? No, you cannot. Let me answer that question real quick for you.
I could throw it. It's not
No,
going anywhere.
No, I don't think you would
It's
even
not
throw it.
hitting my target, but I'm
I
throwing
think
it.
you would just piss down your leg, and be like scared. Anyway, he threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, had a great QBR, was very poised in the pocket. I mean, did something for the Texans that they haven't done in a while. So, I mean, he's just going to be the savior of that city, I feel like.
Okay, Coleman, who do you think had a good performance?
I was gonna pick Will Anderson from the Texans, but I don't think he had I think he had a very impactful sack, but he only had 3 tackles, so I don't know if I'd say that he had
Yeah, they don't really show pressure rate and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot that didn't go. I don't have that stat ahead on from the next gen stats on that, the Pro Football Focus, but I will say that Puka Nacua had a great game against the Lions.
True.
So that's probably my pick, even though those are pretty normie picks. I'm sure there was a rookie that that did pretty well. Shout out to Blake Cashman on the Houston's defense. I've been noticing. I think he was on the Jets a while. He did go to Minnesota, and he's 27, so he's fairly into his
he's not
career.
a rookie then.
He's not a rookie. I just said shout out. But yeah, but he's been playing pretty well on Houston, especially these past few games. Especially that last game.
Pick? My pick is, I think I have two, but I'll just go with the Chiefs, Rashid Rice. I mean, okay, I'll go with the Chiefs, Rashid Rice. I mean, he had 130 yards, 8 catches. I mean, it's in the cold, and I mean, he finally is proving himself and gaining Patrick Mahomes' trust because, I mean, that team really does not have a true wide receiver except for Travis Kelce, and he doesn't even play that position. So, I mean, I think this is good for the Chiefs to find their young star. And Romeo Doubs also had a good game, but I'm not 100% confident if he's a rookie or not, but I'm pretty sure he is. But, I mean, the Cowboys just had a terrible game. So. But those would be my 2 picks.
No, he was drafted 2022.
See, good thing I didn't say him. Yeah, so Rashid Rice was my pick. He had a great game. I was going to say Puka Nacua, but Coleman took it because, I mean, I was watching
Such a normie pick by me.
I was like, damn, this guy's just cooking our defense.
Yeah.
Everywhere I looked, it was Puka Nacua. Oh, Cooper Kupp. Oh, drop. Puka Nacua.
Yep. All right. What about you, Josh?
I already said my pick.
Oh, right. My fault.
Josh went with the CJ Stroud, the casual pick.
Pretty casual. All right.
I'll be a casual if that's the best. That was the best pick out of all.
Yeah, that's what I picked too. I mean, he had an outstanding game. I said this during the game to some of my roommates or the people I was watching with. I think he's better than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. I don't think Jalen Hurts is that good.
I
don't think Jalen Hurts is top 8 or 10.
He's getting that kind of money though, which makes me pretty not upset because I like to see the Eagles lose, but just curious. But yeah, that's what I made. I thought I'd bring up. All right, do you guys want to move on to our picks last week and how we did and for the games, and then maybe pick some more games?
Yeah, sure, man.
All right,
I'll go over our picks from last week, and then one of y'all can go over our picks for this week.
All right, sure.
Okay, so our first game we had Friday, Magic at Heat won. Saturday, as y'all all know, these were the NFL games. Texans beat the Browns, and the Chiefs beat the Dolphins. The Packers and the Cowboys. We all chose the Cowboys. That was an L by us. Didn't see that coming.
Whoa, you missed your pick with the Browns.
I know. I was gonna go over like our final total, but Josh is right. I did get the Browns wrong. I did think they were gonna win. Rams at Lions. We all chose the Lions. It was pretty close. Bucks at Eagles. We all chose the Bucks. Steelers and Bills. We all chose the Bills. Then going on to Tuesday, our NBA games. We had Nuggets at 76ers. Josh and Coleman got this one wrong, going with the Nuggets. Although it was a close game, I just knew the 76ers would pull it out because Joel Embiid has been on a tear. I think it's like, I'm going to say he has like the most, maybe past Wilt for the most games with 30 plus and 10 rebounds. Could be wrong. It's a crazy stat like that.
I think something like that, yeah.
Then we had Thunder at Clippers. We all chose the Thunder. We didn't know Paul George was going to be that guy in the fourth quarter. I mean, hats off to him, man. He's really turning around after his injury-prone career. And then today we had Creighton at UConn, and UConn defeated Creighton. Josh went with Creighton because UConn's big man was missing. But hey,
I do want to say though, I got wrong information. The big man did play today, and I would have picked UConn, but that's my bad. He said he was out 4 to 6 weeks, and he got the injury in late December, like the last week of December. So I figured he wouldn't play in early January, but hell if I know, you know?
He's just built different.
For those kids listening, this just teaches you not to use Wikipedia as your main source.
No, I use ESPN. ESPN's wrong. You need to listen to Wildcards Podcast. We'll get some more information.
No, that's correct. Yeah. So
our total, Josh went, starting off this new season that we have, Josh went 6-4, and me and Coleman both went 7-3.
Yep.
I'm falling behind. I mean, you can't win them all. I mean, I can't win them all, man. I had a great last season. You know, I'm having like what is that when they have a Super Bowl? Like when you go to the Super Bowl, it's like.
Yeah, it's like what the Rams had, the Bengals. I think
it's my Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, you have the hangover after the yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah, so again, we're just doing 10 games each week, and we're probably going to do 10 weeks, so 100 total games. And that will mean we don't have to calculate anything when we're done. We can just take the number of games we won, and that's our percent that we won. That'll be pretty nice. We don't have to use any math because but yeah, so week 2, well, I'll just start off, I guess. On Friday, we have 10 more games. Games on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and one more on Wednesday. So yeah, on Friday we have Nuggets at Pelicans. Nuggets at Celtics. I read the wrong line. And we all have the Celtics. Next game on Friday, we have the Suns at the Pelicans. Josh has the Suns. I don't think there's any bias involved in that, right, Josh?
No, I mean, just Devin Booker is the best player of all time. Go ahead, move on.
Yep. Oh, sorry about that. My watch was going off about
I don't even think he's the best
Pelicans
Suns
score.
player of all time.
He definitely is, bro.
Steve Nash, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal.
Players for the Suns? Yeah.
Well, no, I would say, obviously Shaq's better all time, but, not on the Suns. He's the best Suns franchise player they've had. For the Suns.
I disagree.
We can get into the debate later.
Sure.
I'm just saying, none of them have scored 71, so let's just put it that way.
I don't think scoring 71 against a poverty team matters. He shot 80 shots. All right. Yeah, so Josh is the Suns, and Brandon and I both have the Pelicans, who will probably win that game. And now they probably just lost. Saturday, we got the Texans.
I knocked on wood for us.
Okay, good.
Dude,
Thank you.
Devin Booker's going to drop 50 that game. Just let y'all know for real.
All right, we'll see. Saturday, we have Texans at Ravens. This is the first slate of NFL divisional games, and we all have the Ravens beating the Texans. I want the Texans to win. I always want to put that out there. I want them to win.
Yeah, I want Lamar to lose. I mean, I don't want anybody from Louisville to prosper.
That's fair. All right, and then the second game on Saturday, NFL game, divisional again. Packers at 49ers. We all have the 49ers, except for Brandon, who has the Packers.
What an idiot.
Why do you have the Packers?
I have the Packers solely because, I have two things to say. One, I'm ruining my bracket that I made, but the bracket was already ruined because the Browns lost, so I'm not going 100% on that. And, I'm just going to say it. I'm hopping on the bandwagon. I mean, Jordan Love looked outstanding. I know Matt LaFleur, he hates Kyle Shanahan. I mean, I know, they coach together, but I would assume there's, a grudge, It'd be like if I was coaching against Josh, I'd be scheming.
Yeah, there'd be
scheming. Yeah, because my team would obviously be better, and you'd have to scheme
I'd
very
be the
hard.
7th seed, dude. Yeah, I get it. Anyway.
You kind of walked into that one, Brandon. You have a worse squad.
Just shut up. Let me go.
All right.
Anyway, hopping on the bandwagon, like I said, and if the Packers do happen to beat the 49ers, then if the Lions or the Bucks, either of those teams get to host, so it gives the Lions another chance to host the NFC Championship. That's why I'm going for it, and I'm honestly, no, I'm not gonna jinx it. Because I want to say that, it's obviously better if the Packers win, easier game for the Lions. But I'm a fair believer in jinxing and karma.
The Lions not going to get there, so it doesn't matter.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm knocking on wood.
Well, that moves us to our next pick on Saturday: the Bucks at the Lions. Josh, why do you have the Bucks? Brandon and I both have the Lions.
Well, I mean, let's just look. Baker Mayfield absolutely destroyed the Eagles. Our defense shut them down as well. Baker Mayfield also this week will probably be practicing with Zins in his pocket like he did last week. You can't go against the GOAT, Baker Mayfield, second best Bucks quarterback of all time. Shout out Tom Brady.
Where's Jameis Winston?
Yeah, what about Jameis Winston?
He's third. He's third on the list.
Okay.
He didn't fake kneel at the 1 for us, so he didn't really count. He had a 30 for 30 season too. Okay. Anyway, and did you guys see Baker Mayfield when he exited the tunnel? He had one of them smelling salts, and
I did see that.
Good.
Yep.
Dude, you can't bet against a guy that just wants
to go to war. He didn't even flinch either. He didn't flinch.
No, he wanted that, bro. He took that to the dome.
Oh, you got to admit, he's playing really well. And they definitely have a chance. They definitely have a chance.
It's Oklahoma Baker Mayfield right now.
Yeah. All right. Chiefs at Bills. I'm the only one that has the Chiefs, really? I guess Josh and Brandon are on the Bills train. I have the Chiefs just because I feel like the NFL will rig it so that, the Mahomes can have his moment.
Taylor Swift can have her moment.
Sure. I think that the Chiefs are not a better team, but I think Mahomes is so good. I think Mahomes
Let me chime in here. Coleman's right. Mahomes is good, but This is
Colin Worth.
Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game because the Super Bowls are considered neutral sites.
Sure.
So,
Yep. It's his first ever.
The Bills. They're just like me and Josh probably know this. The Bills are good. It's gonna be cold weather. They're not. The Chiefs are playing and used to playing in cold weather, but I just think, if they have another,
It's different up north.
they have
though.
another overtime situation.
Was it not
Bills
colder?
is gonna-
Was it not colder at the Chiefs Dolphins game than at the Bills?
No,
Steelers?
I'm saying like the Chiefs.
I feel
are
like the
playing
cold is different though.
but
It's a different type of
cold.
cold. It's different flavor.
I just think
Yeah.
the Bills Mafia is really gonna show out, bro.
They probably will, but I think that Mahomes is that good, and he has the plot armor, and I think that they're going to
Nah, they're
I
gonna
think-
throw snowballs at him like they did
Dude, I've
George
literally
Pickens last week.
contacted
win. Okay.
the Bills head coach. It's so easy to stop the Chiefs, bro.
Oh, he gave you the method.
You double team their best receiver.
Travis Kelce.
He's just gonna have to throw to Kadarius Toney, and we already know he's not gonna catch the ball.
Next,
Anyway,
on Sunday we have the Pacers at the Suns, another Suns game, and we all have the Suns. Not much to be said about there. We don't think maybe Siakam's going to play for that game. I don't know how fast you.
yeah, I just
integrate.
didn't think Siakam would play, and I didn't think Halliburton would play. So if Josh's Suns let me down,
Yeah.
I hereby say this: I'm never choosing the Suns ever again if they
All
lose
right,
this
you
game.
heard it here first. Then we have another great game on Monday. Celtics at the Mavericks. I'm the only one that has the Celtics. I think the Celtics are they're the better team. They
Yeah.
still haven't lost at home. I know it's not a home game. It's at the Mavs. And I just feel like
Great stat.
yeah.
Really relevant to the game.
Thank you. But I just feel like the Celtics will forget they're on the road and think it's at home. No, I'm kidding. I think the Celtics are a better team, and if they have
I
everyone,
do too.
but I don't know. I'm just betting on the fact that Kyrie and Luka, and Tim Hardaway Jr., who's been great off the bench, won't have a great game. That's my prediction. I stand by it. Tuesday, we have number 5 Houston. This is a college basketball game at number 20 BYU, and we all have Houston. Of course, they lost twice to Big 12 opponents. Which, by the way, shout out to the Big 12 last
They
week.
lost to Iowa State, who BYU killed. So
Sure, yes, but we both have we all have Houston. I just want to say or maybe it was 2 podcasts ago at this point, I said that the Big East was the best conference in college basketball, and while I think that's true for maybe the postseason, I think they're more built for postseason, which is like it doesn't really say anything about just the teams by themselves just are luckily better in the postseason, not just random chance. But I do think that the Big 12. They have the most teams I think right now in the AP poll, like 10 or 12 or something ridiculous. And but they're really regular season dominant. So I just want to point that out. Big 12 basketball still on the map, still going strong with all the changes. Texas doesn't really matter. Oklahoma doesn't really matter.
What do you
So yeah,
mean?
there's
They're
that.
both top 25 teams, you idiot.
Yeah, they're not good though. I don't think they move.
Oklahoma's a top 10 team.
I don't think they're that good. That's
anyway, guys, let's
That's
stop
my take.
yapping.
All
Our last game, we have 13 Auburn at Alabama. We all went with Auburn. Not much to say there.
I think Auburn's the second best SEC team.
you
I
think
think
they're better
they
than
may-
Tennessee?
No,
I
he's
actually
right. Behind
think-
Texas A&M. Behind
No,
Texas
I,
A&M.
Okay.
I actually do think right now, this second, Auburn is the best SEC team. But
Really?
I feel like Kentucky will overcome that halfway through the SEC slate.
Right
Just
now they're
because of
beating Vandy by
immaturity.
20. Okay, sure. I agree. I actually do agree. So you think they're the best, and Kentucky's the second best, and then Tennessee would be third?
Yeah, you would go that way.
And-
I don't
and-
think Tennessee's all that in a bag of chips, though.
I think Ole Miss is pretty good, but I think that Alabama actually is better than Ole Miss.
I think Ole Miss is a fraud, though.
Yeah, me too. I think Alabama's really good this year. So we have number 13 Auburn at Alabama, and we all have Auburn. So that is our 10th game. Any thoughts about that game, or any thoughts just otherwise, guys, or are you guys ready to end it off?
I think we're good. The Iron Bowl of basketball.
What'd you say?
The Iron Bowl of basketball.
Oh yeah, you're right. Auburn, Alabama, Iron Bowl. Good podcast today. I'd rate it a solid 5 out of 10. We can do better. But with that said, I want to thank everyone out there, who's listening, for showing up to the podcast, listening all the way through. You guys are some real ones. That being said, you can follow our social medias. Pretty much the show Wildcards on Instagram. There's a link tree. You can find everything. And with that being said,
Hey, hold on before we go.
Yeah.
I want everybody listening right now to comment below or get in touch with us about who you'd want to see on the podcast as a guest.
Sure.
We lately us guys have been in discussion about bringing guests on.
We do want to see one.
We'd like to get a high-end coach to get on here, but it's kind of hard to do that, as a podcast starting out with not many numbers and things like that. But we'll definitely reach out to anybody that you recommend to us, and we're gonna reach out to a lot of people, see who would be willing to come on and talk about their season and things like that. So if you guys have any suggestions, just let us know.
For sure. And very last thing, because that made me think of something. Sorry for dragging this out. In about 2 weeks, it will be our 1-year anniversary, or 3 weeks. February 1st or 2nd was our very first podcast, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
February 1st. Thank you, Brandon. So yeah, that's pretty important. That's pretty special. It was the day after the Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure, right? Or was it the day before? I don't remember.
Pretty sure it was the day after.
It was the day after.
After.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Just want to throw it out there. We're not, such a young podcast anymore. I think we're getting up there. But yeah, appreciate you, all of you, for showing up for today's podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Coleman Madlin. I'm joined here today with
Joshua Sykes
and Brandon Harkey.
signing out. Thanks, guys. Peace.
Peace.